Donisha Prendergast is in the spotlight tonight. She's the granddaughter of Bob Marley. I spoke with her in anticipation of next week's release of the film, Bob Marley, One Love.
Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom is all I ever have.
Who doesn't know that tune? Well, the movie will premiere next Wednesday worldwide. It was produced in partnership with the Marley family to celebrate the life and music of an icon who inspired generations through his music. Here's our conversation. Donisha Prendergast joins me now in studio. Hey.
Hi.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I'm really excited to talk to you. There is so much talent within you, but also within your family as a whole. And I know there are a lot of Marleys, right?
There are, of course, enough of us, yeah.
Talk to me a bit about kind of what is that common thread with art, with culture, with music through the Marley family?
I mean, outside of the music and the message, I think I would have to say my grandmother's presence.
Your grandmother's
as a matriarch, yeah. Because my grandfather wasn't around, right? So what we have known is my grandma. That's how we really truly know the essence of who he is. And even though, I have uncles and aunts who may not be, whatever they call this, we're a mixed family. And my grandma has always operated in that sense of being a mixed family. So there's never been a difference or division between my grandfather's kids who she didn't biologically mother,
So tell me what it was like growing up, and some of the stories that your grandmother would tell you about your grandfather, who is obviously this legend, but he's also just your granddad.
Literally. He was a really quiet person from what I get to understand. My grandma always speaks about how shy my grandfather was. So it really is interesting to see him on this mega scale, knowing that he really didn't often want to take up a lot of space when he was around, He was really going through a lot, and I think people hear and resonate with that, but I don't know if people really check in to what is really happening. It's a human who is healing visibly that we're witnessing.
He means so much to so many people, but as I said, he's family to you. You never knew him, but what do you think it is that it is about your grandfather's music that is connected to millions around the globe?
The fight.
The fight.
And the loneliness too. Like I said, he was dealing with a lot. Remember, he was born in the countryside to a young black mother with an older white father. He was ostracized, he was always othered, and he moved from the countryside to the ghettos, being a mixed, high-colored kid, And so he lived a very rough life, his early years. And I think that throughout his career, which he died very young, he was trying to, again, find himself and find a place for his self in this world. And I think that's what the world saw and felt as well. They too, we were also going through these conversations about black and white. It's the 60s and the 70s, all of that stuff that was going on in America.
Yeah.
And Jamaica as a newly independent colony, also trying to identify what does independence look like for us beyond the political warfare that was breeding at the time in the early 70s, which the movie speaks about too.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at kind of the landscape today, are you concerned about that level of political kind of vitriol that we are seeing bubble up in some places?
Yeah, man, of course.
Yeah.
It's a worry, because I now have a son, and I look and I think, okay, well, what is the world that he's going to inherit, and how can I make sure that I can create a safe space for him? What are the tangible things that I can do? And it's hard, it's overwhelming. But in moments like this, we are also reaffirmed that individuals can make national change, international change by small acts of love. It really comes down to that, to not just saying one love, but actually becoming that one love. Listen to that song. He says, could you be loved and be love? Let's answer that question.
Well, when you listen to that song, I mean, what does it make you feel like? What goes through your head?
Rebellion.
Yeah.
In a creative way, not a scary rebellion, but how do I evolve? What needs to happen for me? That's what that song makes me feel. He asks so many questions, And he makes so many statements like, get up, get up, get up. We get up. We've been sleeping for too long. We have to get up. And then he reframes it again. Could you be loved? And turn around and be that same love? That there's something really rebellious and revolutionary in that question.
You know, we talked about him finding himself, finding his identity. What's that journey been like for you?
Wow. I mean, we're still evolving,
Yeah.
right? I started out as an actress in Jamaica at 17 and went to Howard University, trained, and after an experience in South Africa with my grandmother speaking on a stage, after I spoke, some young people came to me and they're like, wow, sister, you speak so powerful. You know, how can we be a part of your movement? Here in South Africa, we are building schools, we're making our own clothes, we are farming, but what are you doing? And I was like, well, I'm at school, in a classroom, totally miserable.
Yeah.
And it made me really rethink, like, no, but what really am I doing with this platform and this responsibility that I have, you know? So it's been quite a journey to define my identity as a Marley, whatever that means to the world, but also like, what does it mean to me? What parts of the legacy do I want to hold on to try to continue to bring forward?
And so have you come to fully answer that yet? What you want to do with your platform, what your purpose should be?
I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, I think the question is answering itself as we continue to evolve, because I'm still evolving. I'm responding to the world in an organic way. And I think that's what the world needs. Like, sometimes we're too contrived. There's too much protocol.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a lot of protocol.
Sometimes we just need to be human, Aya. You know, so that's what my mission is, to keep it organic and keep it real. Bob Marley was a little ghetto youth that all of a sudden the world wants to see as an icon, but when we see the little ghetto youth, we don't see them. We don't see them.
You look past.
Yeah, straight past them. When we see the Rasta man, we don't see him. But we want to take pictures with Bob Marley and the Marleys. But what about the culture that inspired the Marleys? You know, let's get back to the root and to the truth. Even One Love. One Love was first said by Marcus Garvey. And Bob Marley said it to kind of preserve that history, that story. But as time has progressed, who remembers that it was Marcus Garvey who first said it, and what was the intention behind it? We have to be careful that our stories don't spin out of context, you know? So you ask, what's my work? That's my work.
I know that you're doing a lot of work with your nonprofit called Humanity Over Vanity.
Yeah.
Tell me about the work that you're doing with it and why this is so important to you.
I've been doing a lot of grassroots work for the past decade, really trying to understand how it is that we build community outside of just charity. You know, this thing about corporate social responsibility is great, but what is our responsibility? What is really our ability to respond? And so that's what Humanity Over Vanity really is trying to function to do. Create opportunities to have immersive cultural experiences so that we can understand truly how to step away from charity and ticking the box and actually building nation. We have limited time on this earth.
Yeah.
What is going to be your contribution?
You're doing some work in prisons coming up as well. Talk to me about that and what that's about.
Yeah, so we have recently established a relationship with the Toronto South Detention Centre, which hosts about 1,500 young men from 18 to 30, 35, I believe. Our focus is to work with particularly first-generation Jamaican-Canadian young people, which forms almost all of the prisons. And that, to me, is a surprising and disastrous statistic. What are we not doing? And why is it that there are so many of our young people from our communities in these spaces? Now, the whole world is being accountable and changing systems, okay? Well, I have a theory. I have a theory that reggae music can make social impact through utilizing it as a tool for peace management and crime intervention in a big way. Reggae music builds your character. And these young people have been stripped away of the opportunity to really connect with their culture by living in a foreign country. They don't have the opportunities to reason with the Rasta man on the corner or to pick a fruit from the tree and sit under the tree and hold a meditation and observe life. And we don't have that here. There's a lot of concrete. There's not a lot of grounding. So the work that we're doing in the prisons is to try to create, again, a safe space where cultural immersion can help with the rehabilitation of our young people.
Yeah.
Culture and identity, it's key.
Yeah, it goes back to that theme of connection, I guess, connecting to the music.
Yeah.
And that is something, you know, we talked about your grandmother. You're connecting through music with your mother as well, because I
Yeah.
know this week is going to be a pretty big day,
Woo.
right?
Woo.
For you and your mom.
Yeah.
Tell me what's happening.
Wow, I mean, it's been so busy that I really haven't gotten a chance to reflect on the fact that my mom is doing a live performance at the AGO.
Cool.
In addition to that, we're also going to be premiering a music video that I directed and shot for her. And like, I don't know if that's ever happened in history before, where you have some Rasta reggae musicians premiering work at this level. You know, so that is something to celebrate. It's a silent celebration.
What is it like to work as a director and be directing your mom?
Oh my gosh.
Is that daunting? Is she always saying, okay, well, no, let's do it this way or
No,
that
she's
way?
like,
or
okay,
what?
I'm done. I'm like, huh, makeup. No, take two. You know, it's challenging, but it's also really empowering, because the first time that I worked as a director again after giving birth was on my mom's first music video.
Yeah.
Because I stopped making music videos a long time ago. I'm doing films now. It takes so much, you know, but it's my mom. And so the investment has really been just so fulfilling, because my grandma has also been a part of it. This whole journey started off with my mom recreating one of my grandma's songs, and me being able to shoot that video and include both my mom and my grandma and my son on my hip. That's 4 generations of us creating this piece. You know, it really has been something amazing to work with my mom, and challenging, but we'll do it again if she can afford me next time.
You're going to up the rate a little bit. I want to talk to you as well about Valentine's Day. That's the day that One Love is coming out, the biopic about Bob Marley, about your grandfather. Tell me what you can, at least, about the film. I've looked at the trailer. It looks like a stunning film.
Yes.
Have you seen it yet?
No, I haven't seen it yet. I've read the script, but you know, I'm also anxiously awaiting to see what it's going to be about. You know, but I know what it's about. It's my story. It's my history. These are the stories that my grandmother used to tell me, that the world is now going to be able to see on big screen. So I think for us as a family, it's slightly different, you know? Like my grandma, when she saw the film in Jamaica, my mom told me that she cried almost the whole movie. Because remember that this is reliving a trauma that my family has tried to stay away from for a very long time. This specific time in my grandfather's and my grandmother's story. So One Love, it's an interesting title for the movie. It's also a little bit deceptive, I almost want to say, using that word carefully, because there was so much fight during that time.
Yeah.
There was so much fight. So I really am hopeful that audiences investigate the time beyond just what we're seeing on screen, and like apply some of those messages in real time, because One Love is an action. It's not just a song that Bob Marley sang. It's an action. So get active, you know.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.